Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the business of Christmas.
With Kurt and Caroline.
How are you, Kurt?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you, Caroline? How are you
I'm
doing?
doing great. It's been a crazy few weeks, as we both know. I don't know how many times we've tried to record this podcast with no success, right?
No success. Too many phone calls and shipment notifications and requests and you name it.
For sure. Well, today is Friday, the 29th of November, and it's the day after Thanksgiving. I know you're working today. I'm working today. Everybody that we know that's in commercial Christmas decorating is working today because
Absolutely,
this
they are.
week, this week is kind of D-Day week for most people in the industry. So,
It sure is.
yeah. How's the last couple of weeks been for you?
I think for me, and you can probably comment on this as well, is that it's been, can I get, how quickly can I get that shipment? When is my shipment going to arrive? What happened to my shipment? Or this isn't the item I was expecting. Can you ship the item? This is the item I need, I believe. And so it's been a myriad of requests similar to that. But it's more about, can I get that product now? I think customers have made late decisions for
Yeah.
their clients, working with their clients. They're just making those late decisions, and they're coming to us for that product. And that's what I'm seeing. And they're coming to, companies they're checking with everyone who has it, who has what I need, and who can get it to me the fastest. And so that's what I've been working on for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's kind of
How about you?
interesting. Well, I mean, the same. Obviously, in our business, I think so many people think that we literally have a decorated tree here ready to put in a box and ship. And I have to explain to people we build to order. Our turnaround time has pretty much been 5 days, and we've kind of stuck to that. I think
Sure.
maybe last week we went out to a 6 day production, but that's still extremely quick from start to scratch. If somebody is ordering just a few wreaths, we can usually move those out a little bit quicker. But yeah, it never ceases to amaze me. I was sharing before we started recording that I literally got a text 30 minutes ago from somebody requesting a 14-foot tree. Which doesn't really blow my mind anymore because it happens every year. But you and I both know trying to find a tower tree, even in November, is
It's
a
tough.
huge challenge. I know you've helped me with a couple of tower trees this season, and I
Yes.
appreciate you. Thank you very much because
You're welcome.
some of my other vendors, had already run out. But I had to be really honest. If I had one, we'd absolutely do it. And I told him, like, I can do a 12 and we can ship that out, but I can't do any tower trees not until next year, right?
Sure.
So
I just
yeah.
want to know if you can do a pink tree. I want to know if, I want it all decorated in pink lights, everything pink. How about that?
Yeah, we did do a pink tree. You know about that request because we were both trying to help the customer on that one,
Yes.
and it's not something that we generally do. But this was for a customer that had a very special request for a young lady, and I think we made her dream come true. I need to post something on Instagram because it's such a cute story. But that's why we do what we do, right? That's why we go
Yes,
the extra
absolutely.
mile
When I
sometimes.
talked to your customer, I said, Caroline can do it. Just beg her to do it. She'll get it out for you, no problem.
Thanks.
No, I didn't. At the end of the day, I think it just highlights that we will help, if we can. But there's only so much time in the day. There's only so much product still available. We have alternatives for those items you may be asking for. And so that's just what we do, right? We love to help people. We love to hear those stories
Mhm.
back. And so it was nice that you were able to do it. And by the way, I didn't say that you would get it done. I mean, it's one of those things where, you only know, your capacity, and you don't normally do pink trees, right? Especially, was this a pink flocked or was it just pink?
No, it was
I don't
pink.
remember.
Well, actually, they wanted two trees. They wanted one that was flocked,
Hmm,
and which was a challenge because we don't stock those, and
right.
you
Sure.
guys helped out. And they wanted a pink tree, which we don't stock, and I'm certainly not going to run to a big box store and get that. I want to buy a commercial tree because that's the kind of product we supply. And you
Sure.
guys came out and helped. It only was a 6.5 foot tree. It wasn't big, but
Right.
it needed to be pink. It needed to have pink lights. It needed to have pink decor, and the funny story about that was it was a very large home, and I never know where our product is going most of the time. This was a very large, prominent residence um, north of New York. I mean, a long way away, and they needed it within a certain time. And because we couldn't get it in that time with general shipping, they did what we know as a hot shot, which, if the viewers don't know, that's basically
Sure.
where somebody is going to pay for a private trucking company to come in and do a straight run. And it was a 22-hour run, and it was very pricey to get that product to the client, but they were willing to pay that, um, within our time frame of being able to do it. And the Christmas company that installed that actually sent me a photo of the pink tree, in the house, and she told me the story about the little girl running into her room and just screaming with delight. And I think it just reminds me personally of why we do what we do. To see,
Absolutely. I feel the
I
same way.
mean, to
Sure.
see,
Sure.
like, you and I, we sit, at a desk, and we're not at installs. I know I'm not really anymore. I used to be back in the day. And, you know, seeing clients' faces light up, when you take product into the, whether it's a home or a commercial building, and creating that magical moment that will create memories over the month of December, with festivities. It's one of the reasons I do what I do. So
Absolutely. That's why we're in this business, right? We'd said that previously. I think what's nice to know for those of you that don't listening that it normally takes about 3 days ground in most places in the US. Maybe if you get if you're distributing somewhere in the Midwest, you can get things around the country in about 3 days ground. It may be four this time of the year. I know I've sent some 2 day that didn't end up where it needed to be, and now it's four. I mean, it does happen. Ground may have been faster. It's just one of those things that you learn this time of the year. It could be a little bit longer, but most times it's 3 days. um
mhm.
and most people can live with 3 days versus the exorbitant prices that person paid. They just wanted it in before Thanksgiving, right? And there was only so much install time they
Yeah.
had available to get it there
Mhm.
installed before Thanksgiving. And I think that's we all deal with that. But if you can wait that 3 days, and in your case you had to build it though, so
Well, we had to build
that
it,
took
and that,
time
and
too,
you
right?
see, and of course, and you're aware that we do not, when we take orders, they get locked in with, they're kind of like date and time stamped, because
Right.
that's the fairest way to receive orders, especially this late in the day. We don't ever say, I've had people call and go, hey, we'll pay extra if we can jump the line, and we don't do that here. But this one in particular was going to be 4 full days of freight on the road, and they couldn't wait that long, because freight doesn't move over the weekend generally, unless it's a private delivery. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. I always get kind of guilted out this time of year, because I hate saying no to anybody, and I always want people to get what they want. And trying to stand on your feet and solve shipping solutions is something that you and I deal with all the time right now. I mean, really. And and that's why we're still here on Friday after Thanksgiving working. I mean, many of our people that watch our podcasts are out putting up Christmas trees right now.
Yeah.
And I spoke to a client in South Carolina, and they were installing yesterday. And I had a
Wow.
lighting company actually text me yesterday that were out on site lighting. So some people don't even take the one day off. So
It's hard, right? This is your time to make money, and clients want it up, and you just have to help your customers get that product they need. And so for that peak tree, it was it 5 days or was it six from the time they asked for it to the time you got it out the door, Caroline?
well, I think after I ordered it from you, we got it within 3 days. So, and there was a special flock tree that we got from you as well. So we got the tree in 3 days, and then the order had been sitting there for two. So we turned it around within 6 days, I think, from the time we received the order, and then it was a 22-hour, like I said, 22-hour truck drive. But we've done several. I think we've done 3 hot shots, what we call hot shots this year, for clients that want to speed up that road delivery. So it's not unusual. You will find clients that do want to pay for that. And when we
Sure.
talk about, it's not generally hundreds of dollars, it's generally thousands of dollars because, we're shipping a large order, like maybe like several pallets. So
Right.
it's kind of interesting. It never ceases to amaze me what people will pay to get product quickly. So that's just,
And I think once it's out of your hands, it's literally out of your hands. The shipping company can take longer, right? I mean, we've talked about this. You expect an LTL to be there in maybe 4 or 5 days, less than a truckload, by the way. That's
mhm,
how we refer to it. And it can get, you know, missed, right, at different distribution centers. We've talked about that too. And so you really just have to plan for the unexpected from my perspective. It's that you have to inform your client, look, we'll do the best we can, and we have to tell our customers that, like, this is what's going to happen, right?
yeah.
We're going to ship it. It may or may not, it should get there, statistically it does, but sometimes it doesn't. I mean, this is what happens this time of the year.
Yeah. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you brought that up. Because I had two situations this week, and one, I always try and go above the board, but there was a situation, and I could look up the tracking number and see that I like it looked like it was stuck somewhere. It hadn't moved from like 1 yard going to the next, and sure enough, I spoke to somebody, at the like distribution yard, and they found the trailer out in a parking lot, and a driver had taken the wrong truck to Atlanta. And so our product on this other trailer had got stuck and it had been sitting there for 3 days. And it's literally sometimes a matter of like trucking that down. And then of course, what many people don't realize is with freight, Wednesday at midnight, everything stops and nothing moves until this coming Monday on the 6th of December. So we can ship something out on Wednesday, and it may get from San Antonio, it may get to Dallas, but it's
Right.
not
Right.
moving until Monday. So that's
Sure.
the really frustrating part of our business. I know with you guys, you do a lot of smaller stuff this time of year, and it's going UPS ground and UPS ground. And FedEx ground, they are working actually today. So you do get better better shipping than what we do. So
Oh, sure. I mean, it's just different. Yeah, I'm not sure about the size of the packages, but I do know that there's a lot that start to go out over this weekend, today and Sunday and so forth, because those orders are coming in and they're getting prepared and shipped.
mm,
Yes, it'll be a busy, I guess for any company in the U.S. that has Black
yeah,
Friday sales, that sort of thing has the same uh, sort of volume that comes through. It just picks up significantly over this particular weekend.
yeah.
Caroline, as we start to close this season, which I know we haven't closed it officially, but what does the next few weeks and month look like for you as we prepare for next year?
Yeah, well, we're still in crazy production. I will tell you that. We still have enough orders to be working in production until this a week, like a week away. And so in fact I just got a message this morning, another message, somebody wanting a 12-foot tree, and I said if we get that order today, it will ship out next Friday. So it's going to Florida. They won't get it till probably the Wednesday or Thursday, which is what the 12th or something. Yeah,
Sure.
12th. So some people are willing to wait. So yeah, we're still in production. So I hope that our production will hopefully be finished by next Friday. We may have one or two items after that, and that's fine. We never stop selling. But after that, we jump straight into taking full inventory of our warehouse. We need to find out what we still have sitting on our shelves. How many trees, wreaths, garlands. We count our greenery first, and then we count our ornaments, sizes, colors, and then we go into what all our stems and fillers. And the reason that we actually do this is because, believe it or not, in I think it's the 16th, 17th, and 18th, I come to pre-market up in Dallas, and we will be
Right.
placing our PVC greenery order, we'll be placing our ornament order and our stem order. And the reason that we do that is we're bringing stuffing on containers. So if you are a larger client to a lot of vendors. Like for instance, we're a client to you. We can come in early. We can take time to sit down, with our salesperson and go through our needs, place those orders before the end of the year. And that's what we call our container orders. So that's everything that's going to come in by boat, and we receive that like generally May or June. So we get our stuff nice and early. So yeah, December's a really, really busy month. It takes us about a week to do inventory. We keep people back to do that. And then, of course, we have to analyze what our sales have been,
Sure.
how many 12-foot trees have we done? How many 7.5s? How many wreaths have we sold? And then we're going to look at, what our sales have been. And then we're going to look at our budget for next year. What are we expecting
Sure.
to grow by next year? And what does that mean? The difficult thing is I'll give you, for instance, last year we sold out of 9.5-foot trees. They were all gone by the middle of November.
Sure.
This year, I've probably got about 35 left, but 7.5-foot trees I sold out of 2 weeks ago, sold out of 12s. I think I've got
Sure.
5 12-foot trees left. So every year, you're not quite sure what the most popular item is going to be. You're like
Right.
36-inch
Right.
wreaths. We had a huge run. We did a 236-inch reach order. So sometimes one order can wipe one SKU, right?
Sure. Sure.
Um, and that's like trying to have a crystal ball, right? Like how many 7.5-foot? I mean, it's crazy. And then it goes back to like ornaments. How many red ornaments are we going to buy, and what size, what finish? What about platinum? It's been really interesting. Blue has
Sure.
been a really popular color for us this year. And I think it was because we did have one order for 200 trees that had blue within that theme.
Sure.
And then we had another run of 59 trees that had blue in the theme. Last year it may have been red. So it's oh my goodness, it's like rolling dice when it comes to ordering. It's
Right.
very,
So
very hard.
my question around those color choices, because you're going to see some unusual ones too that you may even run out of a color, but are those brand related or are those design choices? I'm just curious from the standpoint of you're trying to work with someone's brand to bring that into the design versus somebody just wants blue.
Yeah, the blue ones were both brand related. So,
Okay.
meaning that if a client comes to us early enough in the season with a large run of something for, let's say, multiple locations, we can
Sure.
actually build a custom design,
Okay.
and it can be brand related. I love doing brand related things. I think it's really cool. The customers really like it. Um, and it's nice if you go into, I don't know, like, a bank building and, like they're
Absolutely.
all
Sure.
exactly the same, it just, yeah, I mean, and that's a sales tip I always give, look for those multiple locations where you can do the same design through. But, yeah, it's funny with trends. I get this odd feeling that red is going to be hot next year. I don't know why. I'm just even watching Instagram and some things that I'm seeing out of Europe. I mean, red is a Christmas color, but we've seen that trend go away quite a lot. I mean, I love red. I think it's beautiful, and you can use it with other tones of red and wines and burgundies. I
Yes,
I
I've
don't
seen the
know.
wine and burgundy as well. That's what I was going to say. I definitely saw a call for that, and I think from our perspective, that combination has been done, but it's coming back potentially, is what
Maybe.
you're saying and seeing. And I think we didn't we do all red at Transworld as well? You helped me with a red tree.
Yeah, we did
Um,
build a tree. That was red and burgundy,
mhm.
with like different finishes. I don't know. I mean, I think the trend word is so weird because everybody that went to market
Sure.
last year, what did we see everywhere? Pink, 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 Barbie, Barbie, Barbie. The
Yes,
movie,
which has been popular. Yes.
you know, I mean, I think the question to you as a vendor and as somebody that sells the amount of ornaments, like what's been your number one color? You might not be able to answer that right now, but like, I would love to know that from you. What's the 1, 2, and 3 color that you've sold for this season?
Sure. I think we can talk about that when you come to market for your pre-buy, because I know I'm one of the vendors you're going to be sitting down with our team and talking to. We'll have that data for you. But at the end of the day, it's we have every color. We try to stock multiple colors in our kit. It's over 60 and different 6 different finishes on each one of those. So
Yeah,
we're putting those pieces together for everyone that has those designs, right? Everyone tries to make a unique. While there may be a popular color because everyone wants red, I think I see more people that want to do a unique design. And I know you have those as well, right? But you
yeah,
have some that are more popular at the end of the day, and that's what we're
yeah,
talking about.
yeah.
But I see more unique, so we have every part and piece. But I think red is a staple, right? Always we
Mm,
keep a number of those in stock. But for example, wine and burgundy and mocha, for example, is still popular. Those go quickly. So do the
mm,
blues. Our deep midnight blue. It moves very quickly. It just depends on really what somebody needs that season, right? We
yeah.
highlighted that with the customer, right? It came down to a brand color, not necessarily a design choice from this is popular, this is trending. It's a brand driven design choice, and so
For
we
sure.
just don't know. It comes down to what our customers need. So we have the same issue, right? Do we bring in? We can look at numbers, but at the end of the day, it comes down to what that customers, that client is asking of our customers, and so that's really important to understand.
Yeah,
What if we can get an idea early, right? We can make sure we stock what our customers need. It's tough to do, right?
yeah. It's
I
interesting.
think you'll see a lot of new designs this year from us as well.
Yeah, it's interesting you talked about Burgundy. I was earlier this week, I was walking up and down where we keep our ornaments, and I did notice how our Burgundy has really, I mean, we've got a little bit left, but not much. We had a lot of Burgundy left last year, so we've done a lot of designs with using Burgundy and wine this year. Platinum for us is always a huge seller, more than gold. And I think it's because you've got, I call it the cross color. It's not silver, it's not gold, but I love platinum, champagne platinum. I don't know,
Sure.
oat is another color that you guys supply at Vic and Link.
Extremely very popular. And our silver champagne, was it silver candy? Looks oat for backup, right?
Yes,
It's
yeah,
an
for sure.
unusual, right? It's an unusual finish on it because of the way the finish is done, but it looks
Yeah.
like oat. So I've learned that as well this season.
Yeah. Your crackle too. You do a beautiful crackle ornament, and sometimes we bring it in champagne, but in silver. But the silver will work on a champagne look just because of the
Sure.
texture and finish of it. It's kind of
Right.
interesting. But yeah, so December. I mean, going back to what we're doing. So inventory will be up in Dallas for 3 days. And then we also are working on if we're gonna deplete or like say goodbye to any themes that haven't maybe sold for the last couple of years. We'll look at the data on that. And then are we going to bring a new design? We don't change all of our designs every year. It's too much. And, because of the type of business and in that commercial market, we don't have to change new designs, but we're already looking at possibly bringing in at least 1 or 2 new designs for next year. We like to bring something fresh in, so we're doing
Good.
that. And then we're also looking, into January. I've already got all my travel booked, back to Dallas again, back to Atlanta. You and I are both off to Christmas World again to start looking at kind of bigger pictures.
Great.
Um, maybe looking at some different vendors, all of that kind of thing. So, and then I've got a show in January that I have to get ready for in Florida, where I have a booth. I have a show the first week of March, which we'll talk more about, in the beginning of the year, and try and get a lot of our viewers there. So, you're designing booths, you're kind of figuring out what you're going to take. You've got to make sure that whatever you build for your booth, you're keeping back in stock here, right?
Right.
Because
Right.
I can't take a 7.5 foot a 7.5 foot tree to a show because I don't have one anymore. So will an 8.5 work and all of that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, I think I've said this before, speaking to people like you and I do this all year round, and it's this time of year is where we're busy producing, but then all the things that you do to make sure the success goes for next year. For you, you're talking about, like, what are you ordering from the factory, right? Are you bringing
Right.
new colors in? Um,
Right.
you know,
We're going to be talking about that, right?
for sure. So it's kind of interesting, but I think I always kind of reflect at this time of year because a sadness comes over me. Certainly next week, it's you build, we start producing in
Sure.
June, July, and there's so much excitement and buzz for the sales, right? You want to make sure that you sold more than you did. You want to make sure that you're growing your business. But then all of a sudden, it gets very quiet around here because I have so many seasonal workers and they start to leave, right? And all of a sudden, it's just our core crew here and it becomes very quiet. And I get, I don't know, it's like a little kind of a depression that I'm super excited for, like, all the new designs and the purchasing and stuff, but it definitely has a different feel around here
Sure.
over the
I bet
next
it
few
does.
months.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. And then other things we're working on. We're in the middle of producing a video for our website right now, which has been hard because I've had cameras in here while everybody's working because this is the only time we can video production, and so yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on all the time. We are definitely never quiet, and nor are you because you're like me. You're traveling on the road as soon as Christmas is over, right?
Right. Probably less this year in 24 and it's same in 25 than I would normally travel. So rather than two times, 24 times a year, I'm traveling maybe six. So it's a lot less than I had previously been traveling, which I'd like to see more customers during this time. We always have good intentions of wanting to see those, those people, but we're
Mhm.
we're kind of worn out from the season somewhat. And you're
Yeah,
trying to get those last few weeks of orders out, and it's hard to get in front of people.
yeah,
But
yeah,
that's just something
yeah,
we have to try
yeah.
to do.
I don't know. I think I've already got 10 flights booked already for like January and February. And that's, I
Is
mean,
it really
really,
10 flights?
I think so. I think so. I'm going to be up in Dallas and then I'm going to be back in Dallas in January, Atlanta. Um, uh, I'm going to Florida as well for the show. Yeah, it's a lot. And then, Germany, and then I'm going on to Poland, and then I'm going to go see some family in the, I mean, it's a lot.
Well, I would say I have four booked, but I have probably four more to book. So
I was going to say, you're not
you're
far
planning
behind
better
me.
than I am. I've been looking at prices and when do I need to pull this trigger, but the price has been pretty consistent. But
Yeah,
I have been as
exactly.
well. I probably
Exactly.
will have eight by the time it's over through the
Yeah.
the middle of February.
And that's probably actually a reminder to anybody that is going to Dallas market or Atlanta market. You do need to book your flights and you need to get those hotels early. Those hotels that really are around the show and have the shuttle buses. If you leave that late, you are not going to get a hotel close to the markets. I mean, right, Kurt? I mean,
No,
that just
right, right.
doesn't
So
happen.
as we plan for the next year, it's I or that January market. I'm making room reservations sometimes the prior January or no later than the summer when those are available because you have more options and the rates are better. So you
For
really should
sure.
plan at least 6 months out through the market. Websites whether it be Dallas or Atlanta, Las
Yeah.
Vegas. You definitely use that resource 6 months out. You can get better deals on your hotel rooms and save a
Hmm.
considerable amount of money if you just will plan.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, you're so right about that.
And
It's a lot
there's
of money.
another one too that people should be aware of. If you're interested in coming to any of those markets and you have the documentation to prove the type of buyer you are, you can get rooms paid for by the market sometimes. And so reaching out to
Hmm.
them and discussing that, or your vendor that you plan to visit, they can help you with that, coordinate and get you in contact. Because I know we've done that before, Caroline. And
Oh, I do
I
that
just
every
work with,
year.
right? I
Complimentary
just
rooms.
work
It
with the
saves a
Dallas
lot of
Market
money.
Center and
Yep.
they invited 30 new buyers. Some of them are new, some of them are not,
Yeah.
but there were ones on their list, and we communicated together, and they've
Hmm.
offered rooms to over 30 people, 30 buyers that I'm aware of, and that's just for me in Vickerman, and I'm sure there's a number that they're working
Yeah.
with.
I think, just from experience, I mean, they know me now, but generally, if you do try that, they do want to see your history of spending with certain,
Yes, they do.
you can't be somebody that goes to market and spends 20 or 30 thousand. It does tend to be the people that are spending multiple thousands and thousands of dollars to get those. But yeah, I mean, it's a great thing. And they're really, what they're doing is encouraging more people to go, right? So,
Oh,
um,
yes, yes. They
mhm,
want to. If you're buying at a different market, they want to entice you to come to a
yeah,
market you're
well,
not attending as well.
yeah.
Even if those vendors are in one or the other or both, they want to draw you to their market, to their other vendors, and so
Hmm.
they want you to come, and they're going to, incentivize you to do that. And I will say that if you have other business interests where you're spending that sort of money on buying, it's not just Christmas. It could be if you have a design business and you're generating a certain amount of income, and that information you can share on your buys and things, even if you're buying
Hmm.
locally, that will help them make a better decision to include you, because they don't know, right?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah,
or if you think you're at that level, you really need to talk to them. While some of them may be, Caroline, 20 or 30,000, it may be that their 100 is not required. It just depends on the market probably and what availability they
yeah.
have.
And
So
I think, for those large retailers too that have large retail stores, and they're not just like you say buying Christmas goods, but it's everyday giftware and things like
yep,
that. So I don't know the rules for everybody. I just
right,
kind of
it's
know
going to be
what.
different, right? So if you have a brick and mortar and a garden center, or a floral business, you're likely to get an invite,
Hmm.
or that paid for. If you reach out, I would recommend it.
For
At
sure.
least try, right? Ask
Hmm.
that question. If you don't get
Hmm.
it this year, you may get it next year. That you may be on their radar if they're past their budget for this year,
Hmm.
this January market, or it could be next summer market. They may have budget additional dollars.
Hmm.
So I would recommend you do it. If you're going to spend money at market, I think you should reach out to market and talk to them.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, I'm probably going to close out this podcast now because I've had people kind of tap on my door.
I
like
understand.
like I said, we're still in
This
production.
highlights we
So
don't have time to do this during this time of the year. Caroline, I know
exactly.
we'll be back in a few weeks with more content on what's coming up at market. I just want to
Hmm.
make sure everyone tunes in for that, as well. And hopefully we'll have a little more additional direction on what you can expect from us going forward in 25, and what our plans
Hmm.
are and what we'd like to share and who we'd like to talk to bring to you. So we're
Hmm.
both very excited about that. I'm looking forward to it. And Caroline, thank you for taking your time today to do this. I know we've been, again,
Well,
trying to
thank
get together.
you. Thank you. I mean, it's, yeah, every day we're like, do you have half an hour? But no, it's been fun, and like I said, I've really enjoyed this season. For us personally, it's been another growth
Yes,
season
it
for
has.
us. I love watching this business like grow, and dealing with the new clients that I found this previous year. It's making new industry friends. It's been a really, really good season, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I love still continuing to work with you pretty much every day. It's been great. So, and excited about the podcast for 25 as well.
Yes, I
So,
am as well. Looking forward to our next. I know you'll be here in Dallas. Hopefully, we can do it before then. But if not, we'll do
oh,
something when you're here.
we will, we'll definitely put another, at least one more episode out before the end of the year. I think we can give some sneak peek of what's happening up in Dallas before the end of the year, can't
I'm
we?
excited to share our new products, what's coming, and
Yeah. Yeah. Be fun. Well,
yes,
thanks
ma'am.
everybody for
Thank you.
watching as ever. If you know anybody that might be interested in watching this podcast, pass it on. Subscribe. You can see us on YouTube. You can listen to us on Spotify or Apple. Comment. Let us know what you'd like us to chat. Let us know who you'd like to be sitting behind this camera and talking. I know already got some people lined up for 2025, but if you know anybody, or if you're somebody feels like you want to come on the podcast, just let us know. We'd be happy to chat with you.
Thanks, Caroline. Have a good
Yeah,
day.
thanks, Kurt. Everybody, bye bye. Thank
All
you.
right.